Hey guys, Level here. We're going to be doing the CT side of Inferno as mentioned in the previous video. Um, the last video, I kind of mentioned that it's probably good for about 95% of the player base, and I think I did a pretty good job on that video. The CT video will maybe not be as helpful to some higher ranked players because basically I'm just gonna kind of talk about a little bit about each position on the map and just try to instill some core values in your play so you're not necessarily a liability to your Inferno teams. It has a lot to do with buying time and not dying. So I think the best way to start is we'll start with the pistol round. Okay, so on your pistol rounds, I think you should start 3B. And normally, if you're solo queued or you're playing with friends, whatever, about two of those players are going to come over here and throw grenades. So if you're that third guy on the site, on the pistol round, I highly encourage you to play back. I like to play second orange. I like to play new box. And basically, you're just here as a security measure in the event that the 5 Glocks that run up banana kill both of your teammates, and you're going to buy time for your CT player to rotate in. So let's say the T's are in the cross, you're just going to hide. You're going to buy as much time. You're going to let them clear you, basically. They might not clear you. You're going to headshot the guy in front of you. You're going to go for the bomb planter. If for whatever reason they're hesitating walking onto the site, I don't think they will. They will tend to sit in the water. This is called water because this used to be a grill. You can call it pool, you can call it whatever. Most people call it sewer. I think I've heard it called sewer. Um, you can just swing out and shoot the guy hesitating. You're just going to buy time basically for your arch player to run through Speedway and get to here so that you guys have a crossfire setup. And I've won a lot of CT pistol rounds this way. If you're playing the pistol round on A, let's say for whatever reason you can just play here, like on Arch. If you're on site, you can just play like, you can play on the box, you could play around the graveyard barrel, you could play pit. It's not really a big deal on pistol round. You just want to give out the info. CT side is less about like strategy and like having your job based on the area of the map. You know, the way I explained the T side video. In on the CT side, it's basically just like communicate, have a good rotation, stop the push. Right? There's not. It's pretty simple. Um, if you do happen to have three guys on a pistol round, sometimes you'll have a guy go into apps, and that's fine. Maybe he wants to peek, bedroom early, or he wants to for jiggle laps from balcony. It's fine. He can get run down, but it's fine. If there are three people here and the other two are passive, you can just run down mid and go behind the banana flank or take a 1v1, Mexico or T stairs. Um, it's a very effective playstyle that works even against uh, you know high caliber, face it challenger level gameplay like semi-pro players and shit. Um, it's fine, right? At your level, you can run down mid and just take a fight. It's not a big deal. If one guy dies on the defense, it's fine. Because it's still a 2-2 bomb site, and you're just trying to lower the numbers of the enemy team. Generally, trades benefit the T side, but Inferno is one of those maps where you kind of want more information, right? Like you can run down mid, you can die, and the T sides that has car control, they might kill you mid and they might run back A, right? Just because they killed you. And I mean, that's not good, but having the information that they're running back A will result in the end of round situation where you can outplay them instead of the mid round. Like basically you're just progressing the round. Even if you have a bad position, you still have the answers to what's going to happen in that position so you can convert it. If you lose the pistol round, you can force buy and nade stack either banana or mid. It's very common. People expect it. If you want to do something unexpected, you can, stack one of the bomb sites, which may give you a higher chance of winning the round as opposed to a nade stack. Because the nade stack could miss, or they could wait for the nade stack, and then you push after the nade stack, and then you all die. So stacking one of the sites and kind of like tricking them to come onto the bomb site and walk into a crossfire of 3 to 4 people will result in a higher chance of winning the round. During this eco round, you shouldn't really be focusing on winning the round immediately. Your main focus should be killing 3 of the enemy players so that they're forced to rebuy those guns in the next round and keep their money low. So an eco round on any map, particularly after the pistol, you should be looking for 3 kills. That is considered a round win by level maximum. You can also make a good attempt to deny the bomb plant is also helpful. If you win the pistol round, you're going to buy an SMG. Let's talk about it from the Arch player perspective because I feel like it's the easiest way to do it. So on an eco round, they might push mid with Glocks, right? You just throw a deep nade. I like to listen for players shooting these windows because that tells me that somebody's coming top mid and they might be trying to get into apps, whether it's through the staircase or through the bedroom, or they're going to eventually peek this angle. In order to prevent that, them peeking this angle, sometimes I molly here. If I hear them running, and let's say, well, maybe this is more of a gun round concept, but it's against Glocks. You should be able to win no matter what your setup is. So let's just don't push too far. Don't overextend. Play on the bomb sites. Play with your teammates. You should be able to win against the ecos.
How different does it look?
The new one's kind of like fat shit. Probably a fast mid.
Nice, great through.
They fight back?
Yeah. So we'll start with Arch. Arch player gun rounds. What I do is I come down here, I try to get close to this corner, and I throw a grenade on the back wall. If you want, you can go a little further. You can throw it to the right. Just don't die. You always want to get back to cover. I don't traditionally cross this way because there could be a guy in Mexico, there could be a guy wide, they usually throw a flashbang, there could be a guy on the steps with an op, and you're probably going to die. Same thing with opping. If you're an opper, you will find yourself at top mid at times. Really only if you're winning super hard or you're significantly better than the enemy team should you be peeking T stairs. I don't think this is a good peek. I think you're very exposed. I think you're going to die. If you are going to op, probably just play Arch, hold top mid. I like to crouch here. I'm very comfortable holding boiler door and flicking, but at the end of the day, a good flashbang or an opper peeking into you can get you killed. So back to mid, I throw a grenade. If you want, you can throw a molly. I encourage you. This has helped me a lot. I'm not going to show them, but I encourage you to learn the insta mid smokes. So there's spawn points. Each spawn point, you're going to look at something up here in this area, and you're going to jump throw or W jump throw a grenade, and the smoke's going to land here. And what this does is it allows you to take more space towards alt mid earlier in the round if you want. You can also kind of push it like this and then hold and then come through the smoke. You can get a little cheesy, but this will result in your death if you're not very careful and you know exactly what you're doing. Let's say I have a mid smoke here and my mid smoke is fading, or maybe there's no smoke and I know that the T side players are pushing mid. You can get kind of far back here, right? Like you're gonna maybe peek this angle, right? You're gonna get here. You want to have the understanding that you're not gonna get pushed. So to make that simpler, you can throw a molly like this, just in front of mid. And that's gonna make sure you're not gonna get pushed, right? Something basic, right? As long as you understand that you're not going to get pushed at top mid, it's very crucial. So you can take a flashbang and you can aim at this flower pot. And you can middle click, so left and right click jump throw. And then when it flashes, you can peek mid. And this is going to blind anybody. It's going to blind anybody pushing mid along the left or right side. It also blinds people further back. It's a pretty solid blind for you peeking mid. I think it should get Mexico also. Yeah, I mean, it's a very good blind. It's just don't left click jump throw it because it goes too high. Just try to get far back and middle click jump throw it. So you get this kind of arch that comes down into the middle. It makes the blind stronger. I'm not actually sure if it's good or not to smoke top mid as a CT player, but I do it a lot. I do it because if they push me, they're gray screened. If they don't push me, I'm burning time off of the clock, which is a really big concept, particularly on Inferno, where you try to deny as much map control as possible and bring the clock as low as possible. So I like to smoke top mid. Once my smoke fades, I fall back. If you're the arch player, you will get smoked off a lot. When you get smoked off, use this wall right here to shoot people coming through. Use this wall to shoot people along the brackets, the bracket wall. Also, try to visualize this fight in particular. So let's say you happen to be retaking a site, or you just get smoked off and you know their whole team goes lane. Try to visualize putting your crosshair right here, because that last guy on the push will usually go like this, understand that his bomb carrier is safe, and he will go back to holding mid. So he will either hold for the B push or he will aggro hold arch, and you can very easily pre-aim or kill him through smoke while he does that. Same thing with people coming out of boiler. When they kill your lane teammate and you know they're coming out of boiler but you're smoked off, you can spam. You could see this, you can use this wall and spam the boiler entrance. When you're spamming smokes anywhere on the map, on any map, in any game, do not use all of your bullets. Do not shoot all 20 bullets or 30 bullets, depending on which M4 you use. Make sure you save half of your magazine, because if you don't hit the spam through the smoke, they can push you. It's very common for, a guy with a Tech 9 to go, in this corner and jump through and try to kill you while you're reloading. He will wait for the reload sound of your M4 to kill you. Other people like to come into this corner and they hide. on the smoke and they wait for the arch player to come through the smoke. Or, you know, once the smoke is faded, if you have a feeling he's in this corner or you know it, there's a pocket. There's a pocket here right below this tree where you just aim slightly at the top of the smoke and you left click a nade and it'll land directly on the guy in this corner. If you know he's there or you heard him, you can obviously, with a teammate or not with a teammate, try to have one of you hold the smoke, and as you're holding the smoke, one guy throws a grenade and then you switch. The other guy holds the smoke, the other guy uses his HE grenade. If you don't have any grenades and you're smoked off and you know he's in the corner, you can just pre-fire it. Just understand, visualize where that corner is. I even missed it there because I think I got stuck, but understand where the corner is when you're coming through the smoke. Maybe you can come all the way through the smoke, and then right when you're in the edge of it, you start firing. Maybe, you know, put a crouch in there while you're pre-firing that guy. Just small tips. Again, if you're ever retaking A, always hard clear boiler. Always hard clear this corner. Even if it means you're gonna die from lane. Like, I mean, honestly, if anyone plays lane right here to hold boiler, they're kind of exposed to deep moto. Like, I don't really think this is a real spot. I guess it can happen. A lot of people play this. A lot of people play along the truck. A lot of people play already at patio, right? So if you come here, and especially if you're against the back wall and you full clear this, you're pretty safe as long as he doesn't peek, right? Some people crouch here, so just be careful for either fight. You don't have to aim head level, maybe just aim for the chest when they're in boiler. If you're ever holding top mid, maybe you're on an eco round, you can play in this corner, it's very good. Maybe not directly in this corner, right, as a CT, but along the pipe, because it makes it like, let's say I'm coming out arch, I look here, and then I'm running, right? I'm running backwards because my teammate is clearing lane. So I'm running backwards, I'm holding for the cubby peak or the arch peak, and like kind of at some point, maybe depending on how far I go, I'll see you in the corner and you're gonna end up in a gunfight maybe against 2 to 3 people that you didn't really want to take. Whereas if you're kind of a bit closer here, anybody with an AK that's trying to slip in, like they make a quick peek and then they go like this, they're probably not going to clear you. So with an MP7, it's a pretty free kill. If you're ever in a scenario where you have a teammate top mid and you know he's fighting and he's falling back, or maybe he's boiler and he died and you were a pit player, and you're shifting forward, right? You're shifting forward to trade him and he dies before you get there. You can come into this off angle. It's just to hold top mid or boiler or whatever it is, because the guy's gonna be like, okay, last guy was A, did he wrap me? Probably not. All right, let's check quad, is he up top? And then like while he's looking here, or there, like he's probably exposing himself majority of the time to this angle. And like, I don't know anybody that's like, yeah, we're gonna clear that corner, right? So, I mean, I guess it's possible, you know, if he's like super smart, right? That's, I mean, that was a pretty good attempt at clearing the corner, but I feel like most people aren't doing that. So this corner is pretty strong. This is something you can add where it's a very strong CT-sided position. If you happen to get an AK off the enemy team, you can crouch on this mini pit wall and you can look over the truck, and the headshots are very easy. If you crouch, you're hidden from the lane peak, and you can hold right here along these rooftop, again, I don't remember what they're called, like shingles. And anybody that's jumping up on the railing, because, you know, they have to clear site, obviously. They have to clear balcony, they have to clear pit, and, you know, they have to clear this, or they have to clear lane, right? They have to go, okay, he's not sight. I'm gonna go lane. It's really, really, really hard to go like this and clear the guy on the half wall. It's almost nearly impossible. So you can pretty much only see him when you jump up like this, and by this time the T player should be dead. So this position's super strong. Definitely play that. This position's also strong. Like, I think this one's underrated. Oh, cool tip. Like, if you're in mini pit and they're pushing A and you know they're coming out balcony, don't like look up for him or like ignore the guy coming out balcony, okay? Just hide from the lane push and hold for the drop, right? He can be above you, he can be falling. If he drops in front of you, great. You're already looking at him, you'll kill him. If he drops this way, you traditionally hear him running on the balcony. I guess it's still balcony. He'll be running on this rooftop, and if he's running, you can just transition over to the corner and kill him. Pit's a good position, so Inferno's a very strange map where sometimes you're encouraged just to hide on site, as opposed to fighting. So obviously, like, you can fight lane, but if there's 3 guys there and your B players are nowhere near the bomb site, because, you know, the push caught them off guard or they're just slow to rotate, maybe you don't want to fight, right? Maybe you just want to hide against this wall and, you know, look for the guy coming out balcony because he'll drop down to full clear. And when he full clears, you'll fight him here, you kill him, and then you'll just buy as much time as possible, right? So they're going to go for the plant, they're going to send somebody mid-site, maybe one of the lane players will get on the truck or push you, and you're going to get much better 1v1s, as opposed to fighting 3 guys in lane while getting pushed, you know, from balcony, right? So the idea here is you just stall out the push and you force the T's to fully clear the bomb site. Even, you know, if there's 2 guys alive and you know they're rotating up lane, you can just hide here, and because there's 2 of them, right, one guy has to clear, one guy has to hold for the arch rotate or, you know, the balcony lurk, right? So this guy is super overloaded with angles, and the other guy's planning. So you just hide pit, you go here, dead, then this guy is like, oh shit, that's the round, you don't even have to peek him. Or you could kill the guy looking everywhere and then kill the bomb planner. Pretty easy tip. I don't really recommend graveyard, but I guess there's a few interesting angles that are good for like one and done kills. I wouldn't stand here. The A site. So yeah, obviously you can play, you know, here when they're walking on site if you're the arch player that rotated in, or you're the 3rd A player for whatever reason. You can play here. If they're coming up lane, this peak is super strong because when they're coming up lane, they're worried about balcony, they're worried about pit, they're worried about right side pit, they're worried about graveyard, and now they have to start clearing Moto, library, arch, and all the site boxes. So this peak right here will get you a lot of kills, especially when they're on that truck, in the corner of that truck. So you'll come out to the side, you'll kill this guy, you keep going for more, and then you come back, you reload. You can wallbang this if you want. Instead of going all the way out and risking death, you can just start spamming the box. You do it here too, I think. You can crouch here. This will not do a lot of damage, but this one will. So if you're worried about a push or something, this will help you stall it out. This is called Cold Zera. If you're hiding on this box, you can't have your gun out this way, even if it's a USPS. You need to tuck it into the box so that the guy planning can't see you. Because he'll have the bomb in his hands, and he'll be like, oh shit, there's a guy there. And then you'll die. This is a cool off angle for the site. I would break this out. I would break this out in close stressful games where they're coming A, or maybe it's an overtime round or something. So you can obviously just play on this box, which is good enough, and you can hold the balcony walkout and you can hold lane. A lot of people left click a smoke lane and they just hold the smoke, so anybody coming onto site is gray screened. The T's will go wide if they have a moto smoke, so you have to be prepared to fight on 2 angles. And another thing you can do is you can go far left of this box, and I wouldn't use the smoke, but so if you do this smoke, I'm thinking about this on the fly. If you do a smoke like this, I assume the T's will think someone's on that box and they'll start spamming. Maybe they'll go wide for space. They could also run through the smoke and that would screw you off. So maybe if you want to be really tricky, you could, you know, do something like this and hold this angle. Don't worry about that though. When you're on this box, you can hold balcony walkout. It's a very, very tough kill to get because he'll go here. And, you know, sometimes they immediately jump off, right? So you can't always get the kill. But if he is jumping out onto the stairs, not on the stairs, over the railing onto this little slip, you can hold the slip and you can try to get a kill on him like this. Just be careful about falling. It's an incredibly hard angle to clear. So it can get you 1 kill, and if, let's say, you're not holding balcony, you're holding the lane walkout, they can come past this truck, you can shoot him, and let's say, you know, I mean, he has so many angles to clear, he's not clearing this, right? He's clearing this way, he's clearing this way, and then he's going to turn this way. He will never put his crosshair here. If he puts his crosshair there, just give him a report. If you don't kill him here because he steps back into the pillar, or, you know, normally he'll have a teammate behind him that'll come like this to help secure the kill in this area. You can shoot him and then finish the kill here, or just instantly move to the next target, right? So you can go 1, you see him running backwards, so you just start firing here. You just commit to a little thing. This is something you can do in library, where you look for that arch lurk, or maybe they're doing a contact arch play or something, some kind of wrap. This is a nice off angle where you can catch them clearing. I don't play full in the corner because they could walk along this wall, so I kind of just hold the wall, and sometimes I don't crouch, sometimes I stand, because my head is closer to this door frame, which makes it, I think it makes me harder to kill. And you can kill someone walking out. Maybe you can, like, you don't have to go all the way in the corner, but you don't have to be exposed to arch, the arch corner. You could do like a little in between where you kind of hold these flower pots, and I think that's really strong. I also saw a video.
Laying down smoke.
And you could see over the smoke with an op. That's pretty dirty, honestly. I mean, maybe there's a better lineup. I think the lineup in the video was better. Again, not entirely necessary, because if you're already on the table, it's a pretty safe, wow, look at the M4 on the stool. Maybe we're just putting it in the corner. I mean, that's pretty safe. Maybe it's not the corner, but there's a specific lineup. You can go learn it. Some retake nades off the dome. If you get on top of this thing and you left-click a molly on the light bulb, it usually spreads onto default, so you can deny a plant. There's a molly here where, if you're on the thing, you can aim at this second dot on the left flower pot, and it'll land and molly the corner, and deny, you know, this area of the bomb site. There's a smoke here. If you don't have to get on top of it, but if you just get next to it, you can left click a smoke on this light bulb up here.
Throwing smoke.
and it'll land on balcony, and it'll smoke off the front of mini pit. And there's another one where if you get on this stone here and you aim at the bottom of the shield and jump throw, it'll land in mini pit. Basically, a lot of rounds you're going to be smoked off here. So normally you're going to pop flash through it as a 2-man. If you're doing that, try to pair it with one of the smokes or mollies I just taught you. And you can also just like middle click a smoke while running through this, just to give yourselves some space when walking through, right? So the pit player can't see you, the mini pit player can't see you. The only threats are people on site here or someone graveyard. So you're gonna have a guy on the back wall coming through the mini smoke. You're gonna clear sight, maybe that box. And the other guy, he'll try to slip in somewhere. You know, you're going to cover him on site. The other guy's going to clear the graveyard corner. And then you guys are going to work towards, you know, let's say we have another smoke, hopefully. I mean, if you're B players, you probably don't have smokes, unfortunately. That's why this map kind of sucks. But you can just, you know, eyeball a smoke towards lane, eyeball a molly towards lane. And this will give you, like, more space to work with when trying to defuse the bomb. We could talk about apps quickly. So I mentioned this angle, it's very strong. So another thing, if you're A, you can jump up onto the patio here. You can get boosted either here or here. And you just jump across. I'll put a video of that in happening. It's really good position. You can get wall banged from this window, so you should play like here. And it's good, you know, because you can see over the smokes in mid, and you're hard to clear sometimes. So is this one, you get on the railing, you hold the door frame like this. It's an incredibly tough clear. If you're ever playing apps on your gun rounds, you should molly this, and then after the molly, if you think they're coming A, you can smoke this, and then you can spam the smoke. Just wait a little bit, like wait on a timing where you think they could be in the smoke, and then spam it. Save some bullets, obviously, if you get pushed, and then when you feel uncomfortable or one of your other A players died, you can back up. Probably to pit would be good, because like if you back up here but they have lane control, it's not super helpful. If they are doing a lane push, you can fight with your teammates here. It's a great angle. If both of your A players died and your B players are taking a very long time, you can push. Try to find that last guy who's usually in apps. If he's not here, or if he's here, you can still flank and push boiler. And come in behind the push. There's usually a guy lane. If you're fast enough, you should be able to shoot that guy in the back of the head. And this is a trick I picked up a few years ago where it was better in CSGO, but let's say you're making an aggro play in apps. Let's note that if we're in the second half of the game and the scoreline's really close and the game's almost over, probably don't be aggressive in apartments. You know, especially if it's like an overtime round, because it's very high risk, high reward, and we don't need high risk, high reward in overtime. We need solid Counter-Strike. So this is more of an early round, first half kind of gimmick, where in Go you'd run here and you'd throw a molly while running. I don't do this because it kind of traps you in apps, or you'll at least take some damage, or they'll hear you burn. So the way I do it now is I run this way, I molly that, and then you can choose to either go aggro down the steps, or you can shift. In my T-side video, I believe I mentioned that the T-side player should be very passive here, holding for the push because majority of the time push is going to come, some kind of info peak on the stairs. You'll understand when this is going to happen based off of the players that you play and how they play. If there's an aggro apps player every round, he's probably going to be at the bottom of the stairs at some point during the game. So, you know, understand how you're playing. If you ever want to change pace or you're low util, bro, I just got a YouTube subscriber, bro. Did that show up in the video? I think it did. It's okay. Maybe we'll leave it in. Thanks for the subscription and all of the love on the channel recently, guys. Thank you. Right, so you can instead of running down to fight this guy, you can also shift down and then quick peek him. I wouldn't go for more at this point because there could be a guy top alt, there could be a guy in middle, there could be a guy on this staircase, and there could be a guy on balcony. So when you peek this, you're potentially fighting 2 to 4 guys. And it's like, well, that's not fun. So just get your kill and run back. And the benefit is, let's try to do this in real time, is we run here, we molly, we go down, we shift, we stop shifting, we peek, we kill, we run back, right? And now the molly's not there. So I can just run back to site. Let's say we did it the other way. Molly, kill, run back. Okay, actually that was perfect. That molly lineup was perfect. I've actually have not been able to replicate that because more often than not it's hitting this bar or it's landing up here or it's bouncing off this and hitting the radiator and the molly lands here. So when you kill them, you have to stall here for 1, 2, 3 seconds. And by that time, they're probably spamming bridge or chasing you. So 3 seconds, they're probably already in bedroom because they made the jump and you're stuck here. So you're forced to take molly damage, which is fine. It's not a bad thing to take molly damage. If you can learn this lineup, I mean, see, like that's what it's supposed to look like. But oh, I guess it's just the center, huh? I guess it's just more towards the center. Interesting. I think the door works just fine because the molly lands on the door anyways. So just turn backwards, throw this. And then when they're in alt mid coming up. Oh my god, he mollied apps, guys. He's passive. Let's go take space. Oh my god, I'm dead, right? B-side early round. Even if your grenades aren't necessarily doing damage, you still should probably throw the close molly. Just to deny a rush, right? Close molly, hold the molly. Close molly, throw a nade in the molly. Close molly, throw a nade behind the molly. Close molly, far molly, deep nade, smoke, deep banana, flash banana, right? You know, how you can flash over half wall, you can do this, and you can clear banana. When you're clearing banana, full clear this corner, full clear this corner. Then don't push the smoke, just hold here, right? You know, and then you have banana control, and it's very obvious that they're going A. You have to be pretty good with your grenades and understanding. So when you are throwing a grenade, if you're the first player with the best spawn, you're running towards this corner, right here. And you're throwing your close molly or your far molly, and you're going into the corner and you're going like this because you need to make space for the second player to throw. If you throw the far molly and he needs to throw the close molly, you can't block him because he has to get to this point to throw the close molly. So you need to throw the far molly and then hide, and then this guy throws the close molly. Let's say you're throwing close molly and you're the second guy coming in. Second guy can throw a nade like this, where it's a middle click running throw. That's a little far. Middle click. Maybe aim at the top of this white arch or something. I missed, of course. It used to be better because you used to be able to throw one like this, but you can't do that anymore.
Grenade out.
Just so maybe a little W tap, right? You're on the back wall, you aim at this window, W tap, middle click, and it lands pretty good. You can also get it to land like above their head, kind of anywhere in this area, because if they're running through the molly and they hit a HE grenade, they're gonna die. Let's say your teammate wants to peek car here. This is fine, nothing wrong with that. I still would throw a deep smoke as much as you can, just to deny this guy getting hit by an op, hit by a scout, hit by a deagle, because he doesn't need to peek T-stairs, he needs to peek banana. So he needs to clear anything here, right? Unless he is opping. If your teammate is opping, and you're the second guy, there's a flash you can throw. Kind of you aim, you know, up at this little satellite thing, and you
Deploying flashbang.
W along this wall. You,
Flashbang.
oh, I missed that one. Above the satellite, W,
Deploying flashbang.
left click, and it will flash above him. If you want to follow him to support him, because he's gonna peek. It's kind of hard to throw the molly and throw a flash, so maybe just throw a flash like this, W left click up towards those windows, and the flashbang will land above him so he's not blind, and anybody pushing is fucking full white, bro. Unless they're like, you know, already at car. Yeah, they're all white. Anyone like at this point of banana is full white. If they get to the half wall or if they get too close to the roof, then they're not blind. So this is how you throw, you know, let's say you're the third guy B, right? One guy's going to throw close, one guy's going to peek. You flash for him, and we stop the B rush. Pretty solid. This is an angle I don't see utilized too often. So you can play here, you can play here, you can play here, you can play here. Even people don't even play top sandbags anymore, which like I think is super strong. This is the off angle, but just keep in mind, right? Like T's nowadays, they know how to molly this, right? It spreads as one, and they know how to hit a really, you know, nasty flashbang, whether it's this one or something up here. And if you're in the off angle, you're probably going to get blinded. If you're back here, you're probably going to get mollied or blinded. So just be very careful about how you play car. And honestly, if you have a teammate sandbags and he gets mollied off, you can use a smoke to save his life, but it may be more valuable to just smoke the cross and let him die. Because if you use your smoke to save his life, he's already burning, he already has to swing out anyways. He's already going to get naded if he stays in the smoke. When he comes out of the smoke, he's fighting 3 MAC-10s. He's dead, man. You just have to cut him off like he got bit by a zombie or something, and it's your left arm. Like, you just have to cut off the arm. So smoke the cross and buy time for the rotates. If you smoke it and you come into a corner like this, you can throw an HE like that towards car. Let's say, you know, your teammate doesn't die. Okay? We throw the early B utility, we give it up, we fall back to site. They flash car, right? You'll hear the flashbang wherever it lands.
Deploying flashbang.
When you hear that flashbang, that means more often than not that the T is peeking corner and he's starting to clear this area because he peeked when the flash popped, right? So he should be in this area right here. If you're in CT, you can just left click a nade and then hide, right? So this will either land car if he jumped over car, or if the glass is still on, there is no glass here, but you'll notice I'll throw a grenade at the glass here.
Grenade out.
it was supposed to land here, but it landed here. And that's because it hit the glass. So if that happens here, the grenade will land here instead of there. If you want, there are cool grenades you can learn from up here. I don't have a lineup in particular, but I think this is half wall. This... Oy. Yeah, I don't have a lineup, but this pole on the right side is a molly for car. There should also be a smoke. These are like Kerrigan nades. There's a smoke that lands like up here and it blooms down half wall, or it lands up here and it blooms half wall. You can molly this. You can throw a retake flash for your teammate this way, whether you're up here or back here. And I think the retake flash is right here. So when your B player is pushing up and he says, "Yo, bro, do you have a flash?" And then you throw this flash and he turns here and then he peeks, right? Be very careful when you're clearing, right? Because they could be boosted. They could be on the barrel back here looking at the corner for a headshot. Normally if I'm lurking B, I try to get into this corner right here and I just stand and I wait for the retake flash. Because when the retake flash happens, this guy's clearing and then he goes here, right? You know, good players will have the retake flash and go full wide. And he will kill me, right? Because if you stand here, you're blind. But bad players will not clear this corner on a lurk. They'll just be like, oh, okay, banana's clear, maybe they'll fall back, right? But to be honest, I could be in that corner. I could be here, or I could be here. So if I'm lurking B as a T player, I stand here or I stand there. So if you're clearing it as a CT, right, understand the things that you do in the game that are successful when you're playing the opposite side, right? If you do good things as a T player, when you're on the CT side, you should look to play against yourself, right? If I think someone's in that corner, I can shoot it. I can full clear it. If I think someone's in this corner, before I retake, I can molly, right? Because there was a smoke here. And the T player was like, okay, guys, I'm going to get in this corner. I'll play for the rotator. You guys go A, right? So when this smoke fades, you'll be like, man, there's a smoke here. Like, there could be a T on the left side. That's kind of crazy. Let me molly the left corner. Let me spam this, right? That doesn't really work. But let me pre-fire this, or maybe the smoke's here. You can use your radar to kill somebody in that corner. So when I'm in the smoke, I'm looking at my radar. There are binds you can use to zoom in on the radar to see what you're doing. I don't use those binds, but maybe I will in the future, because I'm good enough with this. I can understand where the corner is, and I will kill this guy. So I'll molly, I'll pre-fire, the smoke will fade, I'll ask for the flash, and I'll clear car. And then I'll full clear this. And then I'll walk down and I'll clear this and I'll clear the barrel. I didn't give you like specific lineups, right? But like, I mean, you should know. There's close, far. If you're trying to nade logs, you can throw one at this bended part. If you're trying to nade here, the flower pot, okay. If you come and you aim at the flower pot, you'll hit somebody here. That's pretty good nade damage. And then just like the deep smoke. The deep smoke will actually win you so many rounds. It's actually unbelievable how good of a smoke grenade this is. I'm not going to talk about the B side because the B side's generally fine. Just be very careful about playing this position, because it's when you go for these spams in the smoke or you're swinging, you're probably going to die. there's a high risk of dying. When I say you're probably going to die, it's not because I think you're bad. It's because there's just a high risk of dying. I don't really like pop flashes like this. So there's a pop flash here from first orange.
Deploying flashbang.
I just don't think they're good because you have to turn all the way into the fight, and then it's very obvious. And anybody here that hears the flash can just run away. And anybody back here is not. They'll be like, "Oh, there's a flashbang. Cool, I'm gonna hide from it, and then I'm gonna re-peek the guy." So I don't really think these flashes are good. Just honestly throw one here,
Throwing flashbang.
throw one here.
Flashbang.
You can throw one
Deploying
there
flashbang.
is probably even better. Anything in the water is good, right? So if you're coming from CT or if you're rotating from Speedway,
Throwing
just left with the
flashbang.
flash here, fight with the flash. If you're new box and your teammate is CT or he's coffin and he's gonna swing,
Deploying
put a
flashbang.
flash over there, right? Because now he can fight with the flashbang. This guy can fight with the flashbang. And if there's a flash here, they can't dodge it, right? Anybody in this area can't dodge that flash. Even if they dodge it, they're now not looking at the fight. So this guy just comes in, kills everybody. You know, if someone's here and that flash pops, it's a lot harder to dodge. I even like tried to like half dodge it. Let's say I had an AK, I was holding CT, right? Flash comes in, oh shit. Now I'm not like, now I'm not ready to trade my teammate that is full blind here, right? And let's say like I just eat the flash, I'm blind. So flashing in the water pit is a lot better. Similar to A site pit, if you're B site new box, sometimes you don't have to peek. You can just sit here for all eternity until they clear you. There is going to be someone that clears you. They'll come up like this. You'll have to guess correctly whether it's going to be a right side clear or a left side clear. When you hear the guy running up, just get ready for the fight and counter swing his swing. Win the 50-50. If you win that 50-50, you can stall out the bomb plant, which is crucial because you need to buy time for your rotators, right? So you kill one, you look second orange, you kill this guy, maybe you throw a flashbang, you peek with the flashbang. And you've just given yourself an opportunity to get into the round. Another thing you can do, let's say you're smoked off here
Laying down smoke.
and you have a teammate, U-box, you can throw a flashbang kind of, you can aim like at the statue is probably fine, but you can aim a little bit above the statue.
Throwing flashbang.
And the flash will land on the bomb site and blind anybody in the cross. Be very careful about throwing it too far,
Throwing flashbang.
because I don't think that's actually very helpful if it's too far past the statue. So just don't try to jump throw, just left click kind of high above the statue,
Throwing flashbang.
and that should be good. I think these, it's things that I don't actually see in my games. You know, there's a lot of people like just kind of dying and misplaying the rounds, and it's like you have to stall out the rounds. You know what I mean? Like you have to, maybe you don't want to play a slow game, but this, you let Inferno go through the map veto, right? So you need to drop your smoke here
Laying down smoke.
so you don't get pushed. The molly is 7 seconds.
Throwing fire.
You stall them 7 seconds. After they get car control, you drop a smoke. Smoke is 20 seconds. It starts fading at 18 seconds, right? So around 18 seconds, if you have another smoke,
Throwing
you
smoke.
should re-smoke, right? So you get 40 seconds of time or 36 seconds of time or something. Try to buy as much time as you can with your grenades, because as soon as the clock gets to 30 to 40 seconds, the T side has to make a decision. They can't, you know, it takes 18 seconds to go from here and plant and then go this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I counted a little fast, but I can plant the bomb on A site. So at around 30 seconds, they're forced to make a decision because they have to clear the whole bomb site in 12 seconds and get the bomb down. Because if they have less than 18 seconds, they can't go to the other bomb site. So if you're in a 1v1 and CT smoked off, and you're behind this smoke, and you just heard him here, and the bomb was down, and there's 22 seconds, and you heard him grab the bomb and run banana, that's because he's probably going A. I mean, there's a small chance that he made those steps, and he's waiting on the smoke for you, so you have to be ready for that. Maybe don't run through the smoke and chase him. Just go A, right? Because if he only needs 18 seconds, so if he has 22, he can plant on the other bomb site. But, you know, you want to bring the clock down to like 30 seconds, right? So that the bomb site, whether it's A or B, the bomb site with 3 players on it understands which bomb site is going to be the end of the round. So that way you can rotate probably at least 2 of the players of the 3 to this bomb site. So you already have rotates coming in at that 30-second mark. It makes it even harder to win the round on B because these speedway guys are going to get here. I don't know how fast it takes, but let's say you're Arch, right? Clock's at 40 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds. So now the clock's at 31 seconds, right? Or if it was 30 or 33 or something, you just minus 10 from that. Now it's 23 seconds. This guy can come here while that's smoked off and molly front sight. He can throw a flashbang for the site player. And now this is 7 seconds off that 23 seconds where the T-side players can't walk onto the bomb site, right? And they're getting spammed through smoke and they're getting blinded and shit. So that's another 7 seconds off the 23. Now we're at, quick maths was 16 seconds. 16 seconds, they have to kill 4 players and plant the bomb, bro. It's just not possible, bro. You just have to use the clock as the 6th teammate. On Inferno specifically, it's definitely a map where that's the play style of the map. Other maps, that's not necessarily the case, but on this map, you need to hold the cross, and you need to hold, you know, you don't need to hold Arch the entire round, but you need to hold it majority of the round, and you need to hold Pit. Like if you have Pit, if you have a site player, right? This area, this truck to like, you know, maybe apps and Pit and like a site, you need this at 30 seconds, and you need this cross at 30 seconds. Everything else on the map is irrelevant, as long as the clock is low enough. So don't, you know, if it's 30 seconds, don't like run down mid, bro. Right? Because if you go here and you get shot in the back, and let's say it's the guy holding the flank at 28 seconds, he kills you. Oh shit, boys, that's an A player, let's go, right? And like I said, they only need 18 seconds. So now, in 18 seconds, they're going to get here, and in 10 seconds, they have to find the other A player, who could be balcony or could be Pit, right? So if he's Pit, he swings, like I said earlier in the video, you might be swinging into 4 guys, you're probably dead. If you're in balcony, yeah, you can stop the plant if they plant here, but if they plant further in sight, or if there's already a guy holding you, you're not going to get any value. So 10 seconds to kill 1 guy on A is plenty of time, but 23 seconds to kill 4 guys on B is not enough time. You know, especially if 23 becomes 16 seconds. So 16 seconds to kill 4 guys, it's just not going to happen. I hope this helped. I'm not really sure. I'm not as confident with this video as the last one, because